With a loss to Washington, the Eagles blew the second seed. But make no mistake about it, it's still the scariest team in the playoffs. Dallas still stinks. You might the way, King Dig back here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. You know, I gotta tell you, I was pissed off last night. I was. Yesterday was the most frustrated I have been with the Eagles in probably 2 years, because the Eagles blew a chance at the second seed. Now, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. I'm going to just tell you and explain my position on it. But the Eagles, no matter what, they blew the second seed by losing to Washington. And I'm not concerned about them losing to Washington. No, they didn't play the starters, okay? And they're making a calculated risk that the health and resting those guys is going to be more important than playing them or getting the second seed. Do I agree? We'll talk about it in a second, but we do got a few things I do want to discuss. First thing, Jonathan Gannon is gone, fired. That's what you get for what you did to us a few years ago. Now, I don't wish anybody getting fired, so I'm not going to do that. But he is gone. I don't want anything to do with him back. I don't want him to come back in any role. I don't want him to be under Vic. I don't want anything to do with him. I don't want to. But he is gone. We had to talk about that. Who's text? Stop it. So he's gone. Also, Tom Pelissero is reporting that the Dolphins put a request to interview Eagles assistant GM Alec Calaby for their general manager job per source. They always wanted to steal from the Eagles, right? And my biggest fear about what we lose this offseason is those defensive coaches, Bobby King, Clint Hurt, all those guys. I don't want to lose those guys, and hopefully we can retain our defensive coaching staff for the most part. But get ready, because you know what's coming. So that's something we have to watch out for. Now, yesterday, the Eagles go out. They lose to Washington 24-17. They don't play their starters. A lot of people, wanted to see what Tanner McKee would do. And then he goes out, he looked like a guy who has talent, who needs reps, who needs his play. But to me, it just shows you he's not Jalen Hurts. He's not on Jalen Hurts' level. And all this talk about, we need to put Tanner McKee in for Jalen. Nah, he ain't Jalen Hurts. He's not there yet. Okay, he needs times, he needs reps. He's probably going to have to go somewhere if the Eagles can get a lot for him, because I don't think yesterday's performance helped his trade value. But, I don't think it's as bad as some people are making out to be. I really think the coaching staff did a really, really bad job. But I'll tell you one thing that hasn't been a bad job, and that's Polymarket. Polymarket is the junks. Check this out. Real quick, Polymarket is the revolutionary prediction market everyone is absolutely obsessed with right now. Not only are you getting early access, but it is legal in all 50 states, 1-cent fees, instant trades, total control. You're trading against people, not the house. If we live look into the Polymarket app right now, and we look at the Eagles-Bills game, the Bills are 56%, while the Eagles are 46% chance of winning. I'm betting Eagles, but let's say you like to wait till later and the market dips to, let's say, 40% for the Eagles. That's your buy-in. You're buying cheap, late, and you ride the momentum. That's not a loss. That's an opportunity sports books don't want you to know. Polymarket lets you capitalize instantly. It's incredible. Everyone is going crazy over it. And the most awesome part, downloading the app with my link below using Philly 500 unlocks exclusive early access plus $10 completely free. No deposit, no card, nothing. Don't miss out and join the revolution. Shout out to Polymarket. We love them. We love it here. Use it all the time. So definitely don't wait. Don't lose out. Don't go on a waiting list. Now, here's the thing, right? The Eagles played their backups. I didn't like I didn't like some of the offensive play calling, right? And I'll give you an example. You have a 3rd and 1 at 3rd and goal at the 1. You throw it, then you come back on 4th and 1. You throw it again. If you're gonna go for it on 4th and 1, and I don't even mind you passing on 4th and 1, but you got to run it on 3rd and 1. That's how you got to do it. You got to run it on 3rd and 1. That really cost the Eagles. The secondary, Ringo, Bennett, those guys stink. I will tell you this. I will never question why a guy isn't playing on defense with Vic Fangio again. If a guy is not out there, Vic Fangio knows why. I trust him as much as I trust Stoutland, in the past with offensive linemen. Although the offensive linemen haven't been that good this year, but that's a whole different story. So the Eagles, I mean, the big thing out of this game, and we'll talk more about it during the week. I'll get into the regular schedule I'm usually on. This day is still all messed up with everybody going back to work. Kids are at school. So it's a pretty busy day. But I did want to put this out. Tomorrow we'll start back on the regular schedule. But in my opinion, the big thing that I took out of this game was you had a chance to get the number 2 seed. You had a chance to get it. All you had to do is play your starters, and you didn't get it. Now, there's a lot of people that are going to say, and let me first start off by saying this. I think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl again. All right? I think they're going to go on a run. I think they're going to win, and I put a lot of faith in the fact that they're the defending champs. I think that these playoffs on both sides of the conference are going to be weird. I don't know and can't get a handle on a lot of teams, especially in the AFC. But I think the Eagles having the experience is a big advantage. So I'm not saying that I think that they're done or they're one and done or it's a problem. It's not. I still think will win. I just think they made it harder on themselves than it had to be. And what I mean by that is I keep hearing everybody going, oh, well, you don't want to play San Francisco. You don't want to play San Francisco. Getting the 2nd seed, let me tell you, it has nothing to do with round 1 of the playoffs to me. It has to do with round 2 of the playoffs, all right? And in round 2 of the playoffs, you don't have a week of rest because you just played in the first round of the playoffs, all right? So if you have a chance to make, look, you play this whole season. You play it to win the division. Why do you want to win the division? So you get a home playoff game. Then you play for the number 1 seed. Why do you want the number 1 seed? Because then all the games are in your stadium and you get a week off. The 2 seed is a big difference than the 3rd seed because that means you're guaranteed 2 playoff games and only 1 team you would have to travel. Only 1 place you would have to travel. I think that's a big deal. I think it's a big deal. Okay? And I think that the way the Eagles went about that was wrong. And I think it's malpractice. Okay? Now, we'll find out. They're going to come out well rested against the 49ers, should kick their ass. But you know what? When you play in that round 2, you didn't have a week off. You just played. So now you got to play. And think about this. If the Bears are the 2nd seed and you got to play the Bears, you now have to go to Chicago. If you just win that game, they got to come to Philly. Do you really think Chicago is going to come out and beat the Eagles 2 times in Philly? I don't think it's happening. So I thought the Eagles I think that was a big mistake. Now, look, there are certain times, and I know people are pointing out, well, 2023, they lost and they got guys hurt. Yeah, well, they were fighting for a division still. They choked the division away. Okay? And then they went into the wild card. Why did they want to win the division so far? Should we just play? So, hey, let's just get a playoff berth and then sit everybody for 2-3 weeks. Because you know why? We don't need to play at home. We don't need to win the division. It doesn't make any sense to me. You play the regular season to put yourself in the best position for the playoffs. It does matter how you play, who you play, the path. Making it easier on yourself only makes it easier. It's very simple. Making it easier only makes it easier. And you do that. And to me, you risk it for a 2nd seed. You do. Now, if it was for a 4th seed, 3rd or 4th seed, like let's say the Eagles were the 4th seed, could have gone to 3rd seed, I don't see the benefit. because you're still only guaranteed one home playoff game, okay? But the second seed, that extra playoff game is very, very important. Now, if we look at the schedule this weekend, we can see you got Saturday night games. You got the Rams and Carolina. You now have the Packers playing the Bears. Packers don't look good. They look like they're hanging on for dear life. What a great matchup that would have been. Okay, so you got the Bears. I think the Bears most likely will win. Although what we need is the Packers to win. All right, that would bail us out of not getting a 2 seed. Okay, but you got Packers, Bears, and that's Saturday. Of course, we'll be streaming all these games. And then Sunday you have Buffalo and the Jaguars. That's going to be an interesting game because I think this is Josh Allen's best shot at going to a Super Bowl, even though he's a wild card team. Then you have, of course, the Eagles and the Niners. Now, everybody's caught up in the Niners. I ain't worried about the Niners. When I talk about the second seed, I'm not talking about for round one of the playoffs. I'm talking about the second round. Okay, that's where it comes into play. And you are not getting a week of rest before that second round. You have to play the first round. And then you have the Chargers and the Patriots. That's a Sunday night game. We'll be watching that. Of course, we'll be streaming. And then you're going to have Houston and now Pittsburgh on Monday. We'll be streaming that. That'll be interesting. I'm a little interested to see what the Texans really are. So those are pretty much how things are setting up here. Like I said, if we could get a break with the Bears losing to Green Bay, that would be beautiful, And I think this, they made the decision to rest the guys instead of having a chance for the second seed. Now you got to go win. Otherwise, people are going to look and criticize that decision, and I'm going to be one of them because I don't agree with it. I don't agree with everything they do just because they do it. If I agree, I say it. If I don't agree, I tell you. I don't agree with that. I thought it was malpractice. I thought it was stupid. I said that leading up to it. You always play for the best possible route in the playoffs. And if you had that 2 seed, the Rams are going to kill Carolina. They're going to kill them. And they're going to go up and they're going to beat Seattle. To me, you're going to beat Chicago at home. They're not beating you. You're going to beat Chicago in Chicago, but you're going to really easily beat them in Philly, okay, round 2. And you're going to end up with the NFC Championship game. So the Eagles, they got to go play. They made it a little harder on themselves, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow. So a regular schedule. I think we got one more. Hard Knocks to do. So we'll be doing that, and then the regular morning stream starts back up, and we're back and we're running this week. With that said, I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. And do you hear my cat? He's ready to make some babies. I know what that's like, buddy. Anyways, peace out. One thing I don't understand also is why did the Eagles take Tank out in the fourth quarter? He was playing so good. Like, why did you take him out the last part of that fourth quarter? Like, you know what I mean? They really did not care to lose that 2 seed. I mean, I'll say this, Nick, they didn't care. Now we are going to find out if it was the right decision. In my opinion, I don't think so. And I'm sticking to it. Denzel Washington, out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.